Joining us now, he's not here, so he must be there, is Christopher Hahn, progressive pundit and former senior aide to Senator Charles Schumer. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. You really dated yourself with that Olivia Newton.
I know. And by the way, let me tell you, dating yourself is no fun.
Well, it depends on what state you live in.
Oh no, I'm looking for my rim shot here. Well, here we go. No, it's not on. Anyway, don't worry about it. Nothing's working today. But anyway, all right. So your take on the jury verdict?
Well, look, I think that the prosecution in this case did a miserable job of establishing the timeline, and the defense was very good at establishing the timeline and having it really start when the actual confrontation between Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin began. If we would have started the timeline, if the conversation really would have been started really even before he started following him, but on his other 911 calls, if that would have been the focus of this and not simply when they started fighting, I think you would have gotten at least a manslaughter verdict here, if not second-degree murder.
What other the other 911 calls were heard by the jury? In fact, this juror referred to hearing the other 911 calls in deliberation. So what?
They weren't the centerpiece of what this jury was discussing.
No.
Really,
well, why should they have been? What was on them?
It established that this man called 911 every time he saw a black person walking down the street.
No, that's absolutely not true. As a matter of fact, I've heard many of those 911 tapes, and the reason the prosecution didn't make it a center point or centerpiece is because there was nothing there. As a matter of fact, he never said there's this black guy. He's always asked. And it wasn't always on black people. It was mostly on black people. But this was his job, and it was over 8 years.
It wasn't his job. Let's establish that. Second of all, had he walked up to Trayvon Martin and said, "I'm with the Neighborhood Watch."
Okay. All right.
What are you doing?
All right. Now you're jumping all over the place. And if Trayvon Martin had 4 minutes to run home, which he did, and ran home as his girlfriend told him to do, none of this would have happened. So he elected to confront George Zimmerman, and he did.
Trayvon Martin is the only really innocent person here. So let's not put that into.
Excuse me. You have to look at the totality of the case
Zimmerman
here.
saw a black man walking through a neighborhood and said there's a problem, and instead of doing what the police told him to do, what 911 told him to do, he decided to confront this.
Really?
Guy.
Wait, time out. Let's talk facts and not your little fictional story here. The first fiction. It wasn't a 911 call. It was a non-emergency call. So that's fiction number one. What was he told to do that he didn't do on that 311 call?
He was told to not pursue, and he did not do that.
Excuse me.
Wait
a minute. But he was, excuse me? I could play you the juror because I played this earlier. The juror said, and this was the testimony in the court, by the 311 operator. He said, you asked him on that tape, and you could hear it. He said to him first, let me know what else he's doing. So they asked, O'Mara asked the operator in court, don't you think that might have prompted him to get out of his car and follow him? He said, conceivably. And that's exactly what the juror said. The juror's word to Anderson Cooper yesterday was the 311 operator egged him on to follow him.
He asked the operator if they wanted him to follow him. He did.
Time out. No. Listen, I really would love to have this conversation. Now you're telling me that George Zimmerman said, do you want me to follow him? And he was told no?
It was said on the tape. We've all heard it 1,000 times.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Listen. I know you're going to be embarrassed after this interview. I hope you're not just making this up, and you know you're making it up. Here's how the conversation went, because I've played this tape on this show almost every day. So there's no better expert of that tape than me. Here's what was said. He gave the description, blah, 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 and then he said, let me know what else he's doing. And then when it became apparent that Zimmerman was out of the car, by the way, he was never told don't leave the car, as is also urban legend now. After it was, the operator thought he might have been following him, he said, are you following him? Zimmerman said, yes. The operator said, we don't need you to do that. And Zimmerman said, okay. And that's when
Zimmerman doing it.
No, he did.
Why did he confront
excuse me,
him?
time out. time out. Even Rachel Gentile said the confrontation went the other way. Zimmerman claims he was walking back to his car when he was sprung upon by Trayvon Martin.
Well, none of us know what really happened. One of them had a gun. One of them didn't.
Oh, is that how it went down? Really? Oh, really?
The real problem
is that how it happened? Really?
If this crazy police wannabe didn't have a gun,
all right.
We wouldn't have a dead teenager
right now. Right.
I think in America we need to address that.
You know what? You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace to America. First of all, did you make up the whole so-called 911 call, or did you really believe that?
I do believe that.
Well, it's a lie. Everything I've said is true.
I would like, play it now and let's listen to the whole thing.
All right. We're going to take it.
I don't believe.
Chad.
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
You're remembering it totally wrong. Could you get Chad? We have it on file somewhere. Get the 911. Get Zimmerman's call, not the 911 call. Zimmerman's call to the police, to the non-emergency number. Get it in the computer. We're going to play it, and you're going to see how exactly right I am. By the way, let's play 48. Here's what the juror took away from that call.
I don't.
You don't care what the juror said?
No,
you know better. You know better. Yeah. Here's 48. Bring him down and play 48.
When he was in the car and he called 911, he shouldn't have gotten out of that car. But the 911 operator also, when he was talking to him, kind of egged him on. I don't know if it's their policy to tell them what to do, not to get out of the car, to stay in their car. But I think he should have said, stay in your car, not, can you see where he's gone?
Gee, where did that come from? She just must have made that up, huh?
No, I think she sat in a courtroom and there was a prosecution that failed miserably and there was a defense team that was brilliant.
No, your problem is she heard the tape.
No.
She heard the tape, and that's what the tape said.
Play the tape. That's not what the tape said.
All right.
Play it.
We're going to play it. Now, let me ask you a question. I will give $500 to your favorite charity if you're wrong. Wait. If you're wrong, you give $500 to my charity. If I'm right, if I'm wrong, I give $500 to your charity.
Whoever's right or wrong gives $500 to Building Homes for Heroes, which is a charity I just did the New York City Triathlon for with Fox Business, and we're on.
I don't know what you just said. Did you agree to my bet or not?
I somewhat agreed. I said let's all give it to Building Homes for Heroes, wounded vets. We could all agree on that.
All right. It's George Zimmerman's emergent 311 call. That's what we're looking for. Not the 911 call from the neighbor with the guy hear gunshots. None of that. George Zimmerman's non-emergency call, and we're going to play it. But to say, first of all, and then I'm going to play you Rachel Gentile. All right, let's go to Rachel Gentile since that's hard to find. Let's go to cut 49. Here's 49. Rachel Gentile. She was on a CBS station in Orlando yesterday, and she's going to say right here that she told Trayvon run, which he didn't, and that she heard Trayvon say to him, to Zimmerman first, why are you following me? And then heard Zimmerman say, what are you doing here, or something like that. So you tell me who approached to. Here's cut 49.
Can't tell him. Run.
On the phone with Trayvon Martin moments before he was shot and killed. His childhood friend Rachel Gentile remembering it like it was yesterday.
All I heard was this Trayvon say, why are you following me for? And then this man, oh my God, saying, what you doing around here? That was the last time we talked. It still feel awkward to me. Like, wow, that really happened.
All right, so your theory that Zimmerman approached and started the encounter with Martin is wrong based on the evidence you just heard by Rachel Gentile. She heard Trayvon Martin say something first.
He's stalked.
What's that?
I was prosecuting that case. He's being in jail right now. And I think that the people who prosecuted this case, they should give up the practice of law and go dig ditches or sweep streets. And that state's attorney should be done. She should be done.
Well, I don't know. I can't, we're having a little trouble hearing you, but so you're wrong about who started the confrontation. You're wrong about the 911.
I don't think I'm wrong about who started the confrontation.
Really? Who spoke first?
The kid was walking along.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Somebody decided to approach him.
You're allowed to follow anybody you want. It's not against the law. And we now know. You can make up the fact. Could we play the tape? If we have it, could we play it? Like now. This is a show. I have no time to wait. I'm trying to get the tape played for you.
It's okay. I'm patient.
But, well, I don't. I mean, anyway. So you think there's going to be civil rights violations charges filed?
I don't think that that's provable in this case. I really don't. I just don't. I mean, I just think I think it would be. I mean, look, I could be wrong. They might decide to bring it, but I don't think it's a provable case. And if I was the Attorney General of the United States, I wouldn't be bringing the case.
Well, what's not provable? You just said he followed him because he's black and he hated blacks, and there was 911 calls to show they could have got a second-degree murder, which would have been based on hatred and intent, and now you're saying it's not a provable case. I'm all confused.
I don't think it's provable. I don't think you could prove. It's a different type of crime here. It's a different type of thing you got to prove, and I think legally, it's harder to prove. You got to get inside somebody's mind and say, that he intended to, when he saw him, he went out that night intending to violate civil rights, and I just don't think that that's provable. I just don't. I mean, look, this case was hard enough to prove, but it's at least a manslaughter case under any circumstances. It's at least a manslaughter case. It was not proven because we had a prosecution team that was incompetent, and they lied to the defense.
No. It was because you had a man. It was because you had a man who was getting the crap beat out of him and had a right to defend himself.
Look, he was a man who followed somebody and started.
Doesn't matter. No. You say he started. All right, we got the 911. All right. Okay. You can shout all you want. We're talking to Christopher Hahn. We have the 311 tape. Let's listen to this, and boy, oh boy, you're going to be proven so wrong. Here we go.
All right, let's go.
I think we have it. I guess we don't have it. Wait, here it comes. Nope. All right.
At the entrance of the neighborhood.
Okay. Which entrance is that he's heading towards?
The back entrance.
Are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need you to do that.
Okay.
All right, that's only a portion. I wish we had the whole tape. But you heard.
What's your name?
But you heard how it came about. Are you following him? Excuse me, I'm not finished. Are you following him? Yes. We don't need you to do that. Okay. Now what? How is that in any way consistent with your fiction?
That was exactly what I said.
Excuse me, what?
That's exactly what I said. But it's buildinghopeforheroes.com. Make sure that we get you the proper recognition for your $500 donation. He was told, we don't need you to follow him.
And he said, okay. And he wasn't told, no, bring him down. Wait, listen, Chris, here's the deal, Chris. He wasn't told, we don't want you to follow him. He was told, let me know if he does anything else, which the operator himself said in court could have prompted Zimmerman to think he wanted him to follow him. You heard at the point when he was already following him, he was asked, are you following him? He said, yes. Then he was told, we don't need you to do that. That's what we just heard. And then Zimmerman said, okay. So how is that with the fictional story you just told and now retold? How?
He was in that clip you just played. There was a public official telling him we do not need you to follow him.
And he said, okay, he stopped.
He still followed him.
No, my friend, you got it all wrong.
This is where the prosecution failed. He still followed him.
No, he did not. How do you know that? How do you know that?
Well, they caught up with each other, didn't they?
I'll tell you how. It was George Zimmerman's testimony told to several sources played in court, thanks to the prosecution, that at that point, when he was heading back to his car, he was blindsided and ambushed by Trayvon Martin. That's the only testimony we have. So how do you know it didn't happen that way?
We don't.
Duh.
We don't. That's why he got off. And quite frankly, who's more likely to start a confrontation, the guy with the gun or the guy without a gun? And the guy with the gun.
All right. So Chris, all you had to say at the beginning of this conversation was, there is no evidence to convict him. But I got the story. Here's how it happened. And they should have convicted him because I know what happened. That's what you should have said, Chris.
Look, I don't know what happened. I know that one of them had a gun, one of them had Skittles. And one of them was
all right. Take it to Pierce Morgan. Take it to Pierce Morgan. And God help you or a son of yours if they're ever on trial and the jury ignores the facts because you're ignoring every fact of evidence.
Trayvon Martin's family,
and you're
because he went out for a soft drink and Skittles.
And you're making it up. And you're making it up, Chris. That's great. All right, I'm done. I'm done. I will not put up with these people who ignore the facts and make it up and try to put an innocent man in jail and who did not respect the jury verdict as it was handed down. We had to play the tape. After we played the tape, he said, that's what I said, when he said the complete opposite. And then when I say, wait a minute, how do you know George Zimmerman started it? Well, because he had a gun. Well, excuse me? We're talking about evidence here. Evidence. Unbelievable. Wait till a civil trial when people like Chris are going to hear, if there is a civil trial, Mark O'Mara said yesterday that if there's a civil trial, they will bring out text messages and cell phone conversations that show he had a fascination with fighting. He had a fascination with bloodying people. He had a fascination. There was pictures of him with doing marijuana or blowing smoke, gun interest in guns. You know what people like Chris are going to say? How dare they trash the victim? In other words, ignore the facts again and just go on with this fantasy. Now, I've said all along it's a tragedy that this young man is dead, and my heart bleeds for the parents.